Frictional force. If a force is necessary to move an object, another force is required to stop it. This stopping force can be exerted by a person or an obstacle. However, the moving object comes to rest even in the absence of these forces. When we hold a pen in vertical direction as shown, the gravitational pull acts on the pen in downward direction. But as the pen is stationary, we can say that the total force acting on the pen is 0. This gravitational force acting on a pen is overcome by the force exerted by our fingers. Similarly, when we slide a book on a tabletop, it stops after moving a certain distance. Here, the tabletop exerts force on the book which is responsible to slow it down and then stop the relative motion between the tabletop and the book. Friction plays a very important role in our daily life. We are able to write, walk, apply brakes to slow down the vehicle, tie knots, fix nails and screws, make woven clothes because of friction. Force of friction not only tends to stop a moving object, it also tends to stop a stationary object from moving. That is why it is difficult to move the heavy box. Properties of frictional force. It is produced only when one body tends to move or is actually moving on another body. It always opposes relative motion between the surfaces of contact. Example of contact force, irrespective of the direction of the motion.
Types of friction. To move a stationary object, you have to apply force. As you apply continuously increasing force to the stationary object, the force of friction also increases. The force of friction between two or more solid objects which are not moving relative to each other is called static friction. As you apply more force, there comes a point when the object starts moving. At this point, the static friction is the maximum. Once the box begins to move, it is easier to slide it. This is because now, relative to the floor, the box is moving and the irregularities of the box and the floor do not get enough time to lock into each other. The friction produced between a surface and an object sliding over it is called sliding friction. Moving a box kept on a stand with wheels is much easier as the wheels roll over the surface of the floor. The friction produced between the rolling object and the surface is called rolling friction. It is easy to observe that the force required to start the motion of an object is more than the force required to continue to keep it in motion. It is thus justified to say that sliding friction is less than static friction. Also, rolling an object is easier than sliding it. Hence, rolling friction is less than sliding friction. We can simply express it as static friction greater than sliding friction greater than rolling friction. Now you understand why it is convenient to pull a heavy travel bag fitted with rollers than sliding it. The principle of rolling friction is used in machines by using ball bearings. Ball bearings are small metallic balls which roll between two moving surfaces and reduce friction between them. Friction. To understand friction, let us consider the following example. Place the ball on the floor and push the ball to set it rolling. You will observe that the ball slows down after covering some distance and finally stops rolling and comes to a stop. Is there any force that acts on the ball and stops it? What is this force called? This force is known as friction and is always directed opposite to the direction of motion. Friction acts between two surfaces on contact, which can be solid, liquid, or gas. Friction can have many effects. Wear and tear. Compare the soles of a new pair of shoes with the ones that you have been wearing for some time. What causes the soles to wear out? The force of friction between the ground and the soles of your shoes wears out the soles. For example, parts of machines, tires of vehicles, etc. get worn due to the force of friction. Produces heat. When you rub your palms together, heat is produced. This is because friction produces heat. Advantages and disadvantages of friction. What would happen if there is no force of friction acting in the following scenarios? A ball is rolled on ground. You walk on a road. You apply brakes to your bicycle. Without friction, the ball will never stop. You will not be able to walk and the bicycle will not stop. If friction did not exist, there would be no grip between the surfaces. Hence, friction plays a very important role in our day-to-day life. Advantages of friction. Friction between a pen and paper enables you to write. Without friction, the pen will slip over the paper. Friction helps in fixing a nail onto a wall. A matchstick burns on striking a matchbox due to friction between the two surfaces. Friction between the feet and the ground enables you to walk. If there was no friction, you would slip as soon as you tried to walk. Buses, trucks, cars, etc. are able to move on the road due to the friction between the road and the tires. Disadvantages of friction. Friction causes wear and tear of surfaces and materials. For example, tires of buses, cars, trucks, etc. wear out due to the friction between them and the road. Soles of shoes wear out due to friction. Moving parts of machines such as screws and ball bearings need to be replaced as they too wear out due to friction. Friction between surfaces generates heat. You have seen this while rubbing your palms. However, generation of heat is not always useful. Various parts of machines get damaged due to the heat generated by friction and need to be replaced frequently. Lot of energy is wasted when a machine gets heated due to friction. Also, energy is wasted to overcome the force of friction while moving an object. Methods of increasing friction. Tires of vehicles are corrugated to increase the friction between them and the surface of the road. Increased friction provides tires a better grip on the road. Soles of shoes used by players have spikes on them. The spikes increase friction and provide a firm grip on the ground while playing. Kabaddi players rub sand on their hands to increase their grip. Soles of shoes are grooved to increase friction. This enables us to walk without slipping. Ways of reducing friction. Lubricants are substances that help to reduce friction in machines. Grease or oil is applied between the moving parts of machines to reduce friction. Ball bearings are used for rolling two surfaces over each other. Wheels are used for moving heavy suitcases and bags. Wheels offer less friction and hence make it easier to move heavy items. Streamlined shape of fish, boats, birds, aircrafts, etc. reduces friction and helps them to move in water and air easily. Methods of increasing and reducing friction. Have you noticed wrestlers and gymnasts applying some coarse substance in their hands? Why do soles of shoes and slippers have grooves? Why do players sprinkle powder on the carom board? It is either to increase or reduce friction. Friction can be increased or decreased according to the need, but only to a certain extent.